Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, April 5th, 2024.
But before I walk you through the charts, as usual, just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. Share the content, if you would, with friends and colleagues. And check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos just like this one. Daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, that is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 ETFs. Weekly analysis in the S&P 500 Index, the NASDAQ 100 Index, the Long Bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube. That is 8 a month that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor. We're always looking for at least 20% moves on those stock picks, and you can check out all of this for no cost for 5 days. We offer a 5-day free trial up front with a wickedstocks.com subscription. So sign up for wickedstocks.com, check it all out. If you don't like what you see within 5 days, you can cancel your subscription at no cost to you whatsoever.
Let's take a look at the charts. Start with the big picture. This descending channel stems back to the July high of last year. It's a solid 8-9 month channel formation, the base of which is 161.40 all week, drops next week, and the top is 240.93. We did test the top in late December, and at that time we'd mentioned how the 161.40 channel base should be considered attainable over the following 2 to 3 months or so. That became clearly indicated several weeks later when we violated a rising channel bottom. And so we've been plodding along this channel bottom now for the better part of 2 months, actually 2 solid months. And even at one point, about a month ago, we did close below that channel structure by the required 1% margin. That did set off a longer-term sell signal down to 101.81, but it wasn't to be. The following Monday, we gapped right back above the channel, and it's been holding ever since. 161.40 all week long. If we were to close today below 160.51, you could add the 1% margin of 159.78 in there if you like, just to be safe. But I really think merely closing not only below, of course, 161.40, but that low from a month ago at 160.51 should set off a more reliable sell signal. That should then yield 136.74 within about 3 to 5 weeks. Simple trend line over the last 4 years or so. And the 101.81 January 23 low anticipated within 2 to 3 months of closing below 161.40. Until then, 161.40 is your bottom picking zone, not only through next week, but also through the rest of the second quarter. We can, from here, round back up to the 240.93 channel top over the next 3 to 5 months. That is not clearly indicated in terms of a reliable buy signal on strength, but that would come, as I've been mentioning, with a weekly settlement above this band of resistance that begins at the 191.64 channel top and ends at the descending 1/3 speed line at 198.55, both dropping at a very similar basis, and are considered a 3 to 5 week target or sooner, above 161.40. So if you're bottom picking this 161.40 region, and we've slipped into that this week, earlier in the week we dropped into the 1% zone. In other words, 1% above 161.40 is the beginning of the long-term buy area. And so we have been testing this again this week, and above which, over the next several weeks, we can push into the low to upper 190s, both of which are dropping on a daily basis. The daily chart looks like this. 161.72 is the same formation that we find on the weekly at 161.40, and that you've got a 191.85 channel top on the daily chart, the same one we find at 191.64 on the weekly. And that's really what it looks like. This could be certainly within 2 weeks from now that we reach into that area. Let's take a look at the day itself. Once again, we've got 176 handle resistance that can contain daily buying pressures, as it did yesterday. This is a 5/8 upside Fibonacci over the last week and a half extremes. Can contain session strength, and if settled above, would signal the 185.72 channel top. With yesterday's volatility, probably on Monday, but with a more constrained volatility that we've seen recently within 2 to 3 days of closing above 176.20 186.24, 185.72 in reach. We can top out here on a weekly basis, and actually over the next week and a half or so, it converges entirely with the 190-185 area. So you can almost pick a spot every 5 or 6 points on the way up. And of course, above 190-185, we have 198.55, that speed line on the weekly chart. So I'm not comfortable. If we were to close any week above 190-164, that is a buy signal that is actionable. But in terms of sort of the kind of the foolproof, if you will, buy signal, I would wait for a settlement above 198.55, and if so, we're probably just 2 to 3 months away from reaching 240.93, which I say is attainable over the next 3 to 5 months, holding above 161.40. But until then, we could fill this wedge out. We can top out in the 190-164 to 198.55 region all the way into May trade, possibly through May trade, fall back again to channel support that's dropping at 161.40 this week. We could fill this wedge out for the next month or two before the market tips its hand in the respective direction. The likely outcome from my perspective, because of the longer term scope of 161.40, the likelier outcome by a degree would be a settlement above 198.55, then setting off that 2 to 3 month buy signal at 240.93. But the market obviously is going to do what it does, and if it does close today, for instance, which is highly unlikely, but if we did close today below 160.51, and that on the weekly chart is shown here, once again, no good reason to be long Tesla as we move not only through the rest of April, but really even through the rest of the second quarter. 136.74 becomes a 3 to 5 week target, 101.81 within 2 to 3 months. If we close below 160.51, you could, options traders, reach for a 137, 138 strike out of the money put that doesn't expire for at least, I'd go a couple of months out on that. Or you could reach for a 101, 102 strike out of the money put that doesn't expire for at least, I would go at least 6 months out on that, maybe a year on that expiration. Inversely, while we're testing the lower 160s, 3 to 5 week swing traders could reach for 190 or 195 strike out of the money calls that don't expire. I would go a couple of months out on that, even though it probably won't take any more than 2 to 3 weeks. And also perhaps 235, 240 strike out of the money calls that don't expire for at least, I would go at least 6 months out on that. This is a 3 to 5 month possibility. Closing above 198.55, a probability. So I would go at least 6 months out, maybe a year out on that expiration. For the day itself, I'm going to get back to that because many of you, maybe most of you, are looking at that. I don't have it shown here, but over the last 2 days, the 5/8 downside Fibonacci is 168.59. It's also very similar to Thursday's low and Wednesday's high. It is our pivot point to the downside today. Holding above 168.59, we'll keep 176.24 in reach today. Breaking or opening below 168.59 will allow 161.72, which is once again that long-term channel bottom on the daily chart that we find on the weekly chart at that we find on the weekly chart at 161.40. I don't see us closing below this area today, but if we do, once again, I wouldn't be long Tesla in any way, shape, or form, whether it's options or the underlying, if your time horizon is 3 to 5 months out or sooner. Anything else that needs to be said? I think I'm going to leave it at that. I will leave you with this image. Actually, no, I'm going to leave you with this image for the day. I'll be back, Sunday afternoon with Monday's Tesla. Please click like, share, subscribe. We put out 2 stock picks this week. You can check out for free by signing up for wickedstocks.com. We offer a 5-day free trial up front. We did Exact Sciences and Shell Corporation. Both of them this week. Any stock pick we do, they are on the precipice of a significant move. So it is a timely thing, and I think you should look at it. So check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Tesla. You have a great weekend.